Hi, I'm Niamh Wimperis from Wimperis Embroidery. I've been an embroidery artist for 7 years now, and today I'm going to show you the best way to hoop your fabric to get ready for stitching. So I always stitch on 2 layers of fabric. The second layer, it can be anything that you find around your house. If you've got an old bed sheet, you can just cut that up. It doesn't have to be anything special. There's a couple of reasons for stitching on 2 layers. So one of them is it makes your fabric less likely to warp, especially if you're doing a lot of quite intensive stitching. As you stitch, your fabric puckers. So if you're doing double layer, that's less likely to happen. It also means that if you're stitching on some fabrics, they're quite see-through. And if you're sort of doing lots of stitching and crossing your embroidery hoop, it makes those stitches on the back as you're crossing less visible because it's double layered. So when it's hanging on your wall, you won't see the back coming through. So what we do, you want to grab an embroidery hoop, make sure that it's the correct size for whatever you're stitching. You take out the inner ring. So place the inner ring on the table. It's always best to do this on a table. It's just easier. Pop down the first piece of fabric and then pop down whatever you're stitching on. And you can sort of center where the hoop should be with your hand. So if you sort of push down, then you can see where the hoop is and figure out if it's in the right place. So when you've done that, take the outer hoop. You want to make sure that that's nice and loose. You don't want to kind of force anything. Pop that over the top and then do this nut back up. And one of the key things about stitching is it should sound like a drum at all times. So you see here, that's far too loose. It's going to make your stitches pucker and warp, and it's not going to lay nice and flat. So what you then need to do is go around and tighten up your fabric. That's a bit more like it. And that is it. It's now ready to stitch on.